Soldiers in Nigeria allegedly barricaded and shot protesters who have been demonstrating against police brutality and the specific brutality coming from a special anti-robbery unit. This anti-robbery unit was created in Nigeria back in 1992, and it's been accused of horrific crimes by organizations like Amnesty International, extortion, rape, incredible instances of brutality and viciousness toward young people in Nigeria, particularly young men in Nigeria. Protests over a now disbanded police unit, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, also known as SARS, has been taking place for 2 weeks with demonstrators using the social media hashtag #EndSARS to rally crowds. The protesters have been met with extreme brutality, and a number of them have reportedly been shot dead or wounded by soldiers. Soldiers were seen barricading the protest site in Lagos moments before the shooting. Amnesty International Nigeria said it had received credible but disturbing evidence of excessive use of force causing deaths of protesters in Lekki toll gate in Lagos. Now BBC did a pretty good job in covering what the scene was like on the ground. The next video will show you what the scene looked like as soldiers opened fire against the demonstrators. Take a look.
That's police using live ammunition against people demonstrating in Lagos, Nigeria's biggest city. They've also been using powerful water cannons. Amnesty International says at least 10 protesters have been killed so far.
Now that special unit that was the initial purpose of the protests has allegedly been disbanded, but the protesters don't believe that that's enough because there have been other instances where the authorities said that they were going to disband this special unit and they didn't do it. Also, the demonstrators have made clear that they have more demands. They want more concessions. Those concessions include the release of detained protesters, justice for deceased victims' family members. They want an independent body, much like here in the United States, to oversee investigations of police misconduct. They also want psychological evaluations of members of this now disbanded SARS unit before they can be redeployed. Because much like here in the United States, where cops are found committing acts of brutality, they'll get fired from one police department and then hired by another police department. So in this case, they want assurances that the cops who are part of SARS receive some sort of psychological evaluation before they're employed again as law enforcement. And interestingly enough, they're demanding an increase in police salaries so they can adequately get compensated for protecting lives and property of citizens. I think that probably has something to do with the fact that it would lead to a better quality of law enforcement and probably fewer instances of extortion. That's something that's also very common with law enforcement in Nigeria, something that's been spoken out against by activists on the ground. And I just want to go to one more video that gives you a clear picture of what the concerns are and what the demands are before protests feel I guess appeased by what's being offered to them. Take a look.
This is footage from 2014 showing a man being hit by armed policemen as they hurl abuse at him. There are also claims of daily persecution of ordinary Nigerians. Young people in particular say they're routinely harassed by SARS and allegedly extorted for money too. Here are some of the protesters.
I'm a woman. I come back at night. Police will be telling me that when I get money to buy my vehicle, they'll call me prostitute. We cannot do that. I work too hard for my money, man.
Stop killing our boyfriends. Stop killing our children. Stop. Mothers are crying. Stop killing them.
So one of the things that's common is the police will extort people within the police stations. There's also extortion happening when young men are just trying to get around. They'll get stopped and extorted by the cops. And so it's a real problem, and people are rising up and demanding more reforms, and hopefully they get the reforms that they deserve. Cenk.
So this reminds me of two things about America. So when people are protesting police abuse, what do the police do? They beat the crap out of them. Or in this case, even worse, kill them. I think that misses the point, to say the least. The second thing it reminds me of is how cops rob average citizens. But in that case, America's worse. Why? Because like so many other crimes in America, we've just made them legal. Loan sharks used to be illegal, now they're payday lenders. Dealing heroin used to be illegal, now they're pharmaceutical companies. And I can go on. Of course, bribery used to be illegal. Now you just give politicians millions of dollars, and that's called a campaign contribution. So in the case of the robberies by the cops, in America, if you don't know, the law is that they can go, and if they suspect you of a crime, they could take all of your property on the spot and never give it back to you. In over 90% of the cases, whether you're guilty or innocent, they never give you back your property. Well, that's robbery. And they just made robbery legal. So cops go around robbing people all the time in America. And that's part of the reason, and along with their abuse, why we have so many protests against our police. But in this case, when they shoot into a crowd, that is far worse than even what's happened in America. And I mean, you heard that gunfire. That's not rubber bullets, that's not, I mean, water cannons is already bad, but it's nothing compared to firing randomly into a crowd. I mean, at least 12 dead, as you can see there. And as we've reported. Now, there's another curious thing here. Trump hasn't said anything. Now, normally, he must be conflicted, let's put it that way. Everybody is condemning what the Nigerian government is doing, right? Except Trump. So, on the one hand, Nigeria is an African country, something he considers an S-hole country, right? So, he would want to condemn them. They're black, from Africa. I mean, I'm not making it up. Trump said that African countries are S-hole countries, right? So they're garbage, and so he wants to, naturally wants to talk crap about them, okay? But in this case, it's the police murdering protesters who are complaining about police abuse. Oh, he loves that. I mean, again, it's literal. He said it many times at his rallies. I remember the good old days. What if anybody protested, they'd be carried out on a stretcher. And the police, don't be too easy on them when you're putting them in the cars. And it has encouraged the police to continue to abuse and violently attack and assault protesters. So when he sees that, honestly, he might be a little jealous. Like, look at, they get to murder them. And again, that's not an exaggeration. He has said about dictators in the past, and far worse dictators, right? So Nigeria is not that. Nigeria is an interesting situation here where we've got police abuse. But anyway, about dictators, Trump has said, well, in North Korea, when Kim Jong-un tells people to stand up, they stand up and applaud. I wish we did it like that here. Yeah, that's because he kills them if they don't do that. So he probably looks at this and goes, if only we could do that. Maybe second term, maybe they could do it in the second term. But he hasn't said anything about what the Nigerian government has said, as far as I've seen. And then when it comes to Amnesty International, which is fighting back super aggressively to try to protect the people of Nigeria, Trump has criticized Amnesty International. And now their new line of attack against Amnesty International and other human rights groups they're all anti-Semitic. Wait, what? No, they say that the Palestinian lives should also be protected, so that's obviously anti-Semitic. So at a moment when groups like Amnesty International are critical in places like Nigeria, the Trump administration is doing character assassination of them and trying to make sure that they are less effective. So, as usual, either sleep at the wheel or purposefully malignant. That's Donald Trump. And by the way, don't get me wrong, the people who have the most blame here by a landslide is the government of Nigeria. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.